And still had to unplug my mic and plug it back in. Could it be the mic?
Might be.
Could it be OBS? Because I didn't even turn the wireless on today. I mean, this mic is kind of old.
It is.
In technology realms. Well, okay, well, it is Monday. Can you make sure I'm being heard? It is Monday. It is needle felting day. Yet again. We're going to pick up where we left off on this guy from yesterday, but for those that don't know...
super damn quiet in here.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Why? The mic is at 0.8. Is it your volume?
Well, I'm not having... Here, let me check another stream.
Because I don't know if it's me. Like, I thought it was a little quiet yesterday, but then I turned my headphones up and I was like, oh, it's my headphones. It's my headphones.
No, I think it is me. Hang on.
Okay, because my headphones were only at half sound yesterday, and I was like, oh, it's me. Because when I turned the headphones up, I was fine. Everything with its own fucking sound levels. Oh, well, there goes the YouTube algorithm. Damn it.
Oh, honey. Pretty sure YouTube algorithm leads to your problems.
Probably.
Alright, yeah, you're no more quiet than normal.
Okay, well, do I need to turn up because of the sound, the fans running and stuff? Alright, let me find where I'm at here. There we are. Alright, so let's see how that does. Is that any better? Hopefully.
It's barely noticeable.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Alright, well, let's jump you up a bit more. Okay, how's that? Don't know if that's any better or not. We will see.
A little bit better.
A little bit better. Okay.
What are you tinkering with now?
I'm turning the sound up on the microphone.
I thought you already had.
It was at 0.8.
Uh-huh.
I'm now up to 2.2.
Yeah, that's not really having effects on something like that.
But I'm afraid that it's going to be picking up everything.
That just...
Like traffic and stuff?
No, that... Just put it back to what it was real quick.
Okay.
Let's see. Go to settings.
Which settings?
The general settings. The button that says settings on the right hand side at the bottom. Under studio mode, under virtual camera, under start recording, under stop recording.
There. Okay. I didn't know if you meant Windows settings or OBS settings. Like, I needed to know what settings you were wanting.
Go to stream. Okay, go to output.
It's going to be audio.
Let's try and check something real quick.
I say that's video output.
Alright, go to audio. Scroll down just in case. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look some shit up. It's gonna be a while. Just do your thing for the day.
Alright, well, I'm gonna turn back up a little bit.
I mean, it's not having any real effect on it.
Now see, I thought it was yesterday.
It's really not.
So you might hear two of me for a second, I'm not sure. Why are we so effing quiet? Like it's picking up everything else but my voice. This is dumb. Okay, let's see here. Where do I find... That's fine, that's fine. What is being the problem? Because if y'all can't hear me, there's no point. So... Huh. Alright, let me come back into here. And let's try that. See, that seems a little bit better. But I also don't want to be blasting people's ears out. Oh, that was loud. Okay. Well, we're gonna go with that, and we're gonna see what happens. I just can't touch the microphone because that was very loud. Okay, so... Like, I wonder if I'm gonna have to get a headset with a mic on it now, because this is getting ridiculous. The mic is not that far away from me. The only thing that's different today is that I have a fan running in here. I don't think that's drowning me out that much, is it? Let me turn it off. Let's see. Because that's the only thing different that I have going today. Is that I had an extra fan running. See, now I seem kind of loud in my ears. Alright, let's see. It might have been the fan. I didn't think it was making that much of a difference, but I guess the sound of it was just enough. Alright, well anyhow, we're following along with Bob Ross's Joy of Painting Season 3 tutorials. We are on episode 12. We're getting closer to being done 12, but this is going to be one of the longer ones because we've got a lot of fiddling to do with trees and stuff here. So, excuse me. So we're working on getting through it. The link is going to be in the chat here in a second. There it is. And we're going to pin that, so if anybody wants to go back and see the tutorial later, there you go. That will take you to the Bob Ross YouTube channel where you can see it in full, without interruption, without me pausing, all that good stuff. So when we left off, when we last left off yesterday, we had just finished putting in the pine tree. And we need to highlight this guy. Sorry, had to dig through the bucket. I forgot to grab the highlight color ahead of time. Oh, that, I don't know what the fuck I did. That wasn't good. Something snapped. Went to move forward and something like snapped tingly in the back of my leg. Like a rubber band. Okay. So this is probably a little bit thick for the trunk highlight. Let's see how we go here. I don't want to completely cover that part of the trunk that we've already put in. So we kind of need to just be butted up alongside of it. That's a little tricky. To get quite right. But we'll see how we go. Okay. Move on to the next part down here. Alright, then we'll do another snippy snip. So we don't have the trunk visible the whole way down the tree, because Bob didn't, so we're just kind of rolling with it. Now we haven't put our pathway in yet. That is going to, not much of that was visible. Bob's gonna put that in a minute, but we haven't gotten there quite yet. We'll be doing that before we get too far. for sure. Alright, so that piece I'm just gonna sit off to the side. Okay, all in all, even though this tree took a while yesterday, actually I'm gonna put you back in the bag until we need you again. I don't know if we're gonna need you again today. But, you know, it didn't come out too bad. Alright, we're gonna pull out some more of our grass green. Forest green, excuse me. Wait, is that what I said to? Yeah. Okay. So this is gonna be real pulled out, because we just kind of want to barely brush it to get this in here. And how are we gonna do this? This is gonna be kind of tough. Alright. We don't want things too bright. Like, we just want to barely touch it with this bit of color, because it's just kind of like a highlight, so we want the other shades, we want our dark shade to still be visible. So we just want the suggestion of this lighter green in here. It's a little bit easier to do this needle felting wise when the tree is a slightly different shape. So we're just gonna kind of wing it here. I'm gonna go over the trunking spots, because that's probably fine. That shouldn't be that much of a problem. So just kind of gently laying this on top in areas. On our way down the tree. And I don't want a whole lot of this at once, so that's why we're going very thin amounts of fluff here. I'm not even sure you can really see it in my fingers, but it'll be a little bit visible on the piece here as we are stabbing it in. It just won't, you know, hopefully it won't overpower, because I don't want to completely hide our dark green. Now, could I have mixed this in with our tree color yesterday? Yeah, I could have. I totally could have. Did I? No. Did I think about doing it briefly? It briefly crossed my mind, but then I wasn't sure if it would have been too much for what I'm trying to do here. So that's going to be more of a personal choice. I mean, everything's going to come down to a personal choice in the end. But, you know, a lot of these are me experimenting with this medium and seeing what we can get to work well and what doesn't really work well. It's all trial and error. And we're just kind of rolling with it. I mean, you can kind of see that tree getting a little bit lighter. Like, we're just kind of barely kissing it with this color. So it's going to be a little bit more noticeable as we come down our tree, and I can work with a little bit more here. That top section, that was a little tricky. So we are under a heat advisory today, which is why we started a little bit late. That, and for some reason I was super tired. I woke up at 8:30 and I was actually contemplating staying up, and I was like, well, I can get some extra work done. And I was like, well, let me see if I fall back asleep, and Body was like, yeah, we're going back to sleep. And I was like, oh, I hadn't expected to fall back asleep so easily after I went to the bathroom. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, we have AC in the house, but not in our room where we are. And usually that's fine. We can get by without our room being directly on the AC line. We've got fans like blowing the colder air from the rest of the house in here. We could get a window unit if we really wanted to, like if we absolutely had to. But I don't really see the sense in running up the electric bill even more than it already is right now. So we've got most of the lights turned off in here. I just have these ones going for stream. They're LED. I'm surprised when they get warm. That one's not that warm. Which is why I had that other fan running, so I was like, oh, okay, you know. We'll have that running, but it seemed like it was actually drowning me out. Which was terribly funny because it wasn't even pointed at my face. So either that or this microphone's just like, I'm old, I'm tired. Ooh, I almost snapped the needle on the desk. Don't do that. I don't know, man. I don't know. We might have to look into getting a different microphone. But that's gonna have to wait till after September, or after October. That could end up being a Christmas thing at this point. We will see. At least the highlighting is going a little bit faster than the actual tree going in here. So that's kind of good, right? All right. So keep on going with this guy. Seeing what we can do. Oh, I've got this little tiny piece. We need to figure out what we're gonna do with here. Let's see if we can use him. It galls me to no end when I have scraps that I can't use. Alright. We just need to get a little bit further down our tree. Oh, he's coming to life a bit there. He's looking a bit more evergreeny. Alright, let's see. I don't want it to disappear with our grass back here, because it's the same highlighty shade as our dark shade in the grass. So I'm trying to be a little bit careful. With how we're going about this. Alright, let's snip that. When you work with these thinner, wispier little flyaways, it might take a little extra stabbing to get them attached, just because, you know, the needle barbs have to grab them. And it can take a few extra tries to grab them. So make sure that you give it a chance to grab. If you're not sure if it's really grabbed them, you can run your finger over and see if you've got anything loose there or not. Alright, I'm just gonna bring that guy down that way, although that looks kind of strange now, but We still have a few more highlights to go on this guy, so it might not really be that much of a thing. Alright, so I'm just kind of stretching out this bit of fluff in my fingers. You can kind of see it there. It's how it's not tight. I am going to roll it a little, but I don't want it super rolled here. And I'm going to fan out the fibers a bit before we start stabbing in. Just to where we're happy with them. So again, we are highlighting the tree. We don't need it to be thick. We want the other color popping through. We just kind of want the barest of hints of this color. On this guy. Because it's going to be real easy to overdo this real fast. So if you feel like you need a little bit more, that's fine, but definitely less is more here. Start out just little bits. You can go back and add a little bit more if you really need to. If you've got a section that you feel is a little too dark, or if you missed a spot that you really wanted covered, that's fine. But we want to go slow with this, and you want to build it up. Remember, the thinner the strands, it might disappear a bit into the background, and it'll get a little bit liney. As it's going in. We're starting to get down towards the base of the tree. So we don't want it real super bright down here. But at the same time, I don't want it to just stop. Like I want a little bit in here, because I'm not sure where the height is gonna come. I haven't decided that yet on the shrubs in front of it. So we will. You okay? What's wrong?
Sudden smell.
Of what?
I don't know.
Are you smelling the deodorant I threw in the trash?
No.
Like, concerning smell?
I don't know. Ooh, it's disgusting out there. I don't know. Maybe a piece of hair got caught in my fan.
So is it a burning smell then?
Like, kinda? I think my fan may have been overheating. It It was on 3.
I mean, it could have been.
Which I didn't realize.
Well, do you need to unplug it for a little bit?
No, I just turned it off. Yeah, it had to have been that.
Okay. Like, do I need to evacuate the house or what? Like, I don't really smell anything. I smell the lime that was in the humidifier. Kind of. And I kind of smell my deodorant. That's kind of all I'm smelling. Alright, we're almost done with this guy. And then we'll move on to our next tree. And I think I'm only going to put one of the trees in here along the edge. Probably do like our teardrop tree from our sketch. Probably what we'll end up doing there. Well, that got a little thick there towards the bottom. Well, it's not totally abnormal. We do have a couple spots where it's a little bit thicker up higher, so we're still probably okay with that. So I'm taking this highlight all the way down. I'm not sure how tall my other shrubs are going to be. It's going to be a lot easier just to make sure that I'm fully happy with this guy before we go further. Okay, I'm gonna double back that bit because that was a little small to be trying to snip off of there. But not enough to worry about. Folding it back over. Okay. So I'm now working on the 5th live stream of the last needle felting we did for that speed felt. I'm making progress. Alright, I think I'm pretty okay with that. That's supposed to be... Alright, I might leave a little bit of space in between these guys. Just because this other tree is going to be hunter green as well. If I can find our hunter green here, I shouldn't have gone that far. There it is. Okay, oh, it's up to 95 degrees according to Windows 11. What's the local weather saying it is? Local weather is saying it's 96 and our heat index is 107. Why do we have 2 weather alerts now? A heat advisory today until 9 p.m. It was gross when I went outside last night at 11 o'clock. Why does this appear twice? Oh, we have another one for tomorrow. Already. Wow. Okay. It's like when? For the first heat advisory until 9 p.m. this evening. For the second one from noon to 9 Tuesday. Are you okay?
Yeah, sorry. You're okay. I'm just gonna start working on the salad stuff.
Oh, I thought you yelled. I was like, what the fuck?
I'm sorry, my phone was a little loud. I turned something on to listen to it.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, so I'm probably gonna outline this guy. Just so we can, make sure that we have the right shape here. Let me close that out. Okay. I don't know how far we're going to be going today. Hang on. I have to make sure my mic's not picking this up in the background because I cannot get a fucking mute thing. Hopefully I'm not. I don't think it's picking it up. I don't think it is. But it's pretty loud. Alright, so this one's not as tall. Okay. So I'm going to just kind of do the outline of this guy. Just to figure out where we're gonna sit. Approximately. And we'll see how we do. Let's see, how far down did I bring this one? Alright. So this guy is gonna get put into here. And I could have tried to do this guy all in one go. I could have. But I kind of wanted to do him this way. Because, I don't know, it just felt like it was going to be easier in the long run. And then I can fill him in as we see fit. I know there'll be like grass and stuff up around the base of these guys, so. And we've got those other shrubs that are gonna be in place. Sorry, I was trying to figure out if this thing was supposed to be in front of the shrubs or behind it. It might have been in front of, but that's alright. We'll just put the shrubbies in front of it if we need to. Alright, so I'm gonna turn this guy slightly so that we can get that put into place there. So we have the outline of next guy coming in. Alright, so I'm gonna try to get this edge filled in a bit first. So I've got it kind of sideways again, and I'm sorry it's sideways, but it's actually easier for me to see what I'm doing. And don't be afraid to turn your artwork. I mean, you're the one working on it. It's gonna be easier for you to see it. And sometimes when we turn things different ways, different angles, upside down, all that, we can see stuff that we missed. Or it's a little bit easier to correct something. Okay, so we certainly have this guy coming in here. Now, I'm probably going to end up losing a little bit of the edge over here. We'll see. Because it is a little wobbled on this side, that we know. Like, it is clear as can be wobbled. It does bow out a bit. This side's pretty good. We're a little bowed here, but oops, sorry. Sorry. Didn't mean to scrape the mic there. Apologies. But, let me try to move you back a little bit. Although now with both fans off, I probably don't need to be turned up quite so loud. But we'll go with it for now. Okay. Now the highlight on this one, I've got light green written down. We did use that on that background grass, but we should still be okay. Like, it shouldn't be that much of an issue. Not really. All right. I do want to add a little bit more right in there, just in case I don't end up trimming that far in. Oh no, we might have fixed that. Because I know the tape on this side wasn't 100% straight, which is part of our downfall of following the edge of the tape, but our line's not perfectly straight either because we are drawing on fuzzy felt. It's close to straight, but it is going to be slightly wobbled. My pull noodle, see, I mean, you can see, well, I mean, it's not too bad. If we don't get lost on this getting pulled out, it's not too bad. So we might like look at the back side, or we'll pick the most inside. Like this is like where I think the tape might be the straightest. We'll probably lose just a teeny slice of this edge here when we go to trim it up. But so far, you know, it's coming together. It's coming together. All right, so back to being sideways here. If I can get the mat to stop sliding. Sorry, that looked a little flyaway up there, so just gonna tap those guys back into place. One of the outside cats has decided that they are going to lay on the porch all day. I'm like, buddy, you should really go out back where the trees are. It's usually a little bit cooler out there than on the front porch. I mean, the front porch is a little shaded with the roof over it, but it's still in the direct line of the sun. The front of this house gets pretty baked during the morning and day. We're actually trying not to cook too much for dinner tonight. So we're having salads and sandwiches. Because our room really gets hot after dinner, but our room is also right next to the kitchen. So, I mean, it's understandable. Plus, you know, we're on like this front corner of this house. And we don't quite understand what's going on with the ductwork under the house because we have ducts in our room. DUCTS. We have ducts for the central air system, but we never seem to get any air coming out of it in the summer. Like, nothing is even trickling out of it. But in the winter, it you can feel cold air blowing up through it when the wind blows. So something's obviously wrong under there. Great deal wrong under there. But you know, at this point, we're not gonna try to save the money to investigate that. Because I mean, the kitchen is the same length away from the unit as we are, and that's getting some kind of cold air seeping through, so something's weird. Plus, we don't have insulated windows. I honestly think there's only one window in this house that might be insulated glass. Maybe. And that was because that window was replaced right before we got engaged. Because somebody hit the side of the house before I moved in. Actually, that might have been the trip that we got engaged, because they had a big piece of cardboard or wood or something blocking off the room. Because the window needed to be repaired, and I think they were trying to keep their cats out of there, but they're cats, so a piece of cardboard doesn't really do anything. Most cats are just gonna jump it. Alright, so I'm gonna get this bit filled in here and then see how we feel about things. Like, I'm not sure if I need to, well, no, that should be fine. It doesn't have to be going over the edge the whole way up. Part of it can be doing that, where maybe it expands a bit. Sorry, I didn't realize I was so far down on the screen. Hi, Cal. What are you looking to get into now? You have the look about you. You're being nosy. And you seem like you're looking for trouble. It's too hot to be looking for trouble, buddy. Like, my lower back's already getting pretty toasty. Okay. So I was gonna try to shampoo a rug tonight. I think that's gonna have to wait. Because it's gonna be very hot water that I have to use. I'm gonna have to have the lights on. And the room's gonna get kind of warm from the shampooer running. So I think we'll wait to see if we have a day this week that doesn't have a heat advisory on it. And when I have the dishes done, so that I can use the kitchen sink to refill the shampooer because it's just easier that way. Alright, let's see how we're looking here. Okay, so I'm thinking when we snip, we might lose a part of this tree on the very edge. So that shouldn't be too big of a deal. It's very stiff. Alright, so let me put that back in its bag for right now. Alright, so we need our light green. Okay. I like my pool noodle padding I put on the edge of my keyboard tray here. However, it doesn't want to stay on. Half the time I keep having to reposition it. Alright, so we're using light green to attempt to highlight this guy. We'll see how this starts to look here. And if we can pull it off, great. Don't know for sure yet. So, just kind of trying to reposition our highlight fluff as we are going here. Because we can. And I didn't grab a very big piece of highlighty fluff. So I am just kind of scraping it up and distributing it where I feel like we need it. And then after we get this piece all tacked down, we will reevaluate and see where we need some more. Like, I don't think we're gonna need a tremendous amount here on this if we do it right. Alright, I kind of want a little bit more up in here. I'd like that to be a little bit more on the edge there, since we keep missing the edge. Just a bit. Alright. So I'm just kind of slowly nudging this stuff around. Kind of just working my way top to bottom. And I'll scrape some of this up higher if I feel like we need a little bit more. Like, I'm not gonna commit myself to it definitely staying all in one spot. Like, if it needs to be up in here, then it needs to be up in here. Alright, let me brush the back of this down. Alright, so that's not looking too bad. We do need a bit more there though, but you know, we're looking pretty okay. So I feel like we're looking pretty okay. Sorry, I needed to get a drink there. Sorry, I saw something that caught my eye. Okay. So, sorry about that. Had to check on something. Okay. I really hope we get this rain on Wednesday, but I'm not very confident that we are gonna get it. They keep reducing the percentage chance of that happening. I'm like, no, we need some rain now. We would really like some rain, because it's been a couple of weeks since we've had any meaningful rain here, and we kinda need it. Just a bit. My elephant ears need it. They look so droopy out there. Like, Russell says he waters them pretty good, but those guys need a lot of water. Like their dirt beds need to be puddly because they looked really nice when we had all that rain come through a little while ago. Probably before the Rogers and Bentonville tornadoes. I think that was the last meaningful rain that we got. Like, we had a couple of wannabe showers, but they didn't really do much. So we could certainly use a slight break. So I'm not sure how close we are going to get to where the highlight just kind of got laid in on the side of this tree. I'm trying not to have it be just in the middle. I'm trying to take it to the edges where we can. It's not that easy. For me, at least. It does take a little bit of fussing. Now I spread out the highlight a bit towards the bottom. So it is the bottom of the tree. And normally the bottom wouldn't be quite so highlighty. It'd be a little bit darker. So now we are just working on getting this tapped in and attached. Like I said, these little strands can be a little bit harder to make sure that they are attached. But, you know, just do your best. Okay, so that guy's in. I'll tuck this one away. Now, he did have another tree on the other side here that we omitted. I'm not sure if I want to put that in. Like, I'm just not sure. I was kind of happy with the sketch without that other tree. So I know it feels kind of empty over there, but I don't think I really need to fill it in for the sake of filling it in. We're gonna have some shrubs over here, so that I'm okay with. Maybe we'll just make them bigger shrubs on that side. Or like elongate them a little bit. But we're also gonna have some like taller grasses over here. So alright, so this is what I think we're gonna do now. We're gonna put in our pathway here, I think. I think that's a good thing to start with now. Just have to dig out the color. That's probably, yep, and the very bottom of the bucket. Oh, we don't have very much of this color, do we? There are so many colors that we need to really refill here before we get to the next needle felting. Oh, nope, come back, my precious. We need you. Okay, so this is going to be a slightly darker brown. What? No, I don't. You'll get your turn, don't worry. Don't worry, friend. Alright. Now I am going to take our pathway over the edge of our dirt on the sides here. Just a little bit. Because, you know, we need to overlap it, and then it will not look quite so strange. As we go. I don't want any weird seams or anything, any like gaps between the seam colors. Kind of want everything to just seamlessly fit together as much as we can. I know that sounds a little bit difficult, but we're gonna do our best here. And that's really all we can do. If my head's not in the way. I don't think it was, at least not for all of it. Okay. So this is going to involve a little bit of snipping in some spots here. Now I did choose to go with the darker dirt for the pathway. I could have reversed it, but I don't know, I just felt like maybe we'll just change it up a little bit and have our pathway be a little bit darker, and maybe the dirt under the grass a little bit lighter this time. So I'm going to try to overlap these two bits coming into here, just to help them along, so I don't get any weirdness happening. So I'm going to try not to overlap too much on any one side. For when we bring the pathway edge over. We're going to try to stick close to our shape here, but I can't guarantee we'll be able to follow it directly, but we can do our best. What the heck? Oh, I spilled some water when I was filling our little water bottle lid there, and apparently the needle handle rolled through it and some of it just dripped off. I'm like, why is this wet? It shouldn't be. Very confused. It doesn't take much to confuse me though, so I actually had somebody message me on Instagram asking if my art was for sale that I had posted pictures of, and I'm like, well, it could be. You know, let's chat about it. a couple of the pieces had been rehomed so far. Some of the photos were of gifts. So, I mean, like I said, it depends on which ones you're interested in, really, because some of them are for sale, some of them could be for sale, some of them aren't for sale. Like, some of the stuff I made for me, but not necessarily to sell. But, you know, if the price is right, I could be willing to part with it and just make myself a new one. And they responded with several photos. One had just recently been rehomed earlier in the day by the time they got back to me, and I'm like, okay, well, I've got all but one of them. And I rattled off some prices for them, because I wasn't sure where this was going to end up getting shipped to. So I tried to, you know, keep them fairly even, what I would charge normally, face to face. And then they responded with, well, where are you located? And I told them, and they're like, okay, good. And then they didn't say anything for maybe a day. And then they asked me, oh, well, I would love to buy these as NFTs. Do you do NFTs? I'm like, nope, I don't do NFTs. And then they never said a single thing since. So they never even liked any of the posts that they said that they were interested in purchasing. So I'm like, okay, you could have at least given it a like if you were serious about wanting them. But no, I don't do NFTs, guys. Anybody asking about NFTs with me is a bit of a red flag. And I will more than likely be shutting that conversation down. Like, nope, don't do them. No interest in doing them. No, thank you. I've got enough silly stuff going on. I don't need to get involved in that. No, thanks. That is a headache I don't need. Don't need, don't want. No thanks. Alright. Pop that up gently. Alright. So next bit of fluff and stuff coming in here. As best as we can. Oh man, I think the husband just cut some onions for my mom's salad. Ugh. I'm not a big fan of onion. It just seems to stink up everything. Ah, I cut that too short. And we're on an angle too. That's fine. We can come back and fix that up here. Right, pop that up again. Right. Just want to make sure that the pathway is nice and tightly filled in, because it's going to be visible. So we don't want to half-ass that too much. It is going to be visible to a degree here. Though I do need to put some taller grass here, so I might grab a little bit of that lighter brown and stick that in there. At least on the very edge of that path. So we've got some place for that taller grass to sit. Alright, I'm going to turn the mat here. It's been a little bit since we've done that. So how's everybody's week doing? You guys off to a fairly good start here? I hope so. Whew, it is getting hot in this room. Or at least I'm getting hot. So I don't know how long we're gonna go today. It might be a shorter stream today because of the temperatures in here. We'll see. We will see. But I'm actually getting a little toasty already. Probably because we don't have any extra fans running at the moment. Which, you know, it happens. Summer's always a bit tough. It usually doesn't quite get this tough till a bit later in the summer. I mean, for Christ's sake, it's June 24th. And we're already getting our excessive heat nonsense warnings. So, although I will say our neighbor is crazy, because when I took Momo out before we got started, I noticed a definitive lawn mowing path cut into the grass, and that wasn't there yesterday. So I think she actually tried to cut the grass this morning. There's a reason Russell hasn't been trying to cut it. It's not long enough for the city to get bitchy about yet. And him and Heat don't do that great, where he like has to be out trying to do manual labor in it. He's always been a little heat sensitive. And he's like, yeah, no, it's not an emergency. The grass is dying anyway. It's getting crunchy out there and turning brown. He's like, whatever. He goes, you mean I was like, I think she tried to cut the grass. He's like, what? With all of her issues. And he's like, you know what? Whatever. He's like, it doesn't have to get done unless she rents. So unless the landlord was getting pissy about it, which, I mean, he could have been, but I don't think she's still supposed to be doing some of the stuff that she's trying to do. Helps if we use the finger that's protected, silly. Why would we do that? That makes sense. That's just silly talk there. Alright. Well, it is fucking hot in here. I think we're gonna call it a day. We got a little bit done, but I just can't. I'm melting. It is warm in here. We need to figure out what's going on with his fan and find out if we need to go and get an emergency fan here. I really didn't want to leave the house today, but if we gotta, we gotta. So, I think we're gonna pause it there because it's getting to be the hotter time of the day here. I will see everybody on Thursday, migraine and life permitting. We will try to get Coral Island in this week. Sorry about last week. But my mom sprung wanting to go to the zoo on us rather suddenly. And it was after we had streamed on Monday, so I was like, wait, what? I think she said something on Tuesday. She's like, let's go to the zoo on Thursday. And I'm like, you understand it's going to be hot out, right? She goes, yeah. I was like, okay. I was like, there's a reason we tend to not go to Tulsa in the summer, but alright. But that's what happened last week, so we will try to get Coral Island in this week. I know we didn't get very far, and it was a much shorter stream today, but we got a little bit done. We got our tree highlighted, we got this tree in, and we started putting in our pathway here. So we got something done, because I was originally going to cancel it altogether because of the heat, but we got a little bit done. So I hope everybody has a good week. Try to stay cool, stay safe out there. I will see you all on Thursday. So until next time, have a good one.